this happened in the Penguins draft, you may remember. Sidney Crosby was given to the Penguins because they flipped a coin at the final two teams, and the Penguins won that coin flip, and that's why he's a Penguin to this day. So this is a perfectly legitimate way to conduct a draft. So these three teams, there's no obvious way to decide who goes first. We flipped a coin, or we put three names into a hat, we pulled it out. And Coach K's went first, then Coach Knight is up second, Coach Smedlapper is up third. Strictly a random decision. Okay, Coach K, you're on the clock. Coach Knight, you'll be following next, followed by Coach Smedlapper, and begin our clock. You have 90 seconds to begin. They already know. They're going to take a one right away. The first round's never hard. Okay, and they're going to choose player A. Player A, please announce your selection. Player A, rated as a 1, can't practice on Thursday night. Oops, Coach K, you can't draft her. She can't play, he can't play, I'm sorry, on Thursday night. So you can't take that person. Sorry. Okay, they changed their mind. They'll take player B, rated as a 1, and they can't practice on Friday night, so that's fine. Okay, Coach K is just drafted. Now Coach Knight is up, followed by Coach Smedlapper. Coach Knight's excited because they wanted player D. Player D, rated as a 1.5, can't practice on Mondays. Smedlapper's happy also because they wanted player A, who's rated as a 1. Okay, assistant, make sure you mark off who's been drafted. Thank you. We have just completed round 1. And now we're trying to decide who's going to go first in round 2. Well, all you do is look across the scores. The team with the highest rating, which is actually the worst thing, will go first. The team with the lowest rated players combined will go last in every single round. This way, what you do is you strengthen your weak teams and you weaken your strong teams. Let's look across the board. We got a half, a 1, a 1, a 1, a 1, a 1.5. Guess what? Coach Knight is obviously back up again. Coach Knight drafts first, followed by a tie among these four. They each have 1s. So how do we decide? There is no easy way to decide, so we're going to flip a coin. Or we're going to put their 4 names into a hat and pull out their draft order again. And that's what you do. So we're going to pull out a draft order to make it simple. It's going to be Coach Knight, followed by Coach K, followed by Coach Smedlapper, followed by Coach Butler, followed by Coach Jones. And the final pick of the round will be Coach Smith. At this point, Coach Smith will be mad because they didn't get the pick in the first round. They're the last one in the second round. They will then, if you look at their face, will be a little frustrated with you at that point. However, if you laid out the draft ahead of time, then they will understand that this makes perfect sense for balancing the league, keeping it stack free. Coach Knight, being the highest rated team or the weakest team, gets the pick first in this round, followed by Coach K, Smedlapper, Butler, and Jones. These were decided by putting all 4 into a hat and randomly pulling them out and happened to go in this order. It could have gone this way, could have gone any way, but that's the order it went in to make my life a little simpler for this video. Okay, so Coach Knight is going to pick next, and they look and they're excited. There's still a 1 player available, so they're going to get another 1. That's player known as C. Player C has a 1 rating. The combined rating now is 2.5 for their team. Okay, so Coach Knight chose player C with a rating of 1. Their now combined rating is 2.5. You may ask, when does Coach Knight take their son Ned, who's rated as a 2.5? Or Coach Smedlapper takes Smeddy, who's rated as a 2? Or Coach K with his son Kyle with 3? They will be unfrozen in the round where players of that same rating are being drafted. For instance, the reason Coach Knight didn't have to draft or unfreeze his son was because there was still a 1 available. That was good luck for Coach Knight. If all the 1s were gone and we had been drafting 2s, anything in the 2s, 2.5s, then Coach Ned would have had to then drop down and plug in his frozen player. You'll see this in a couple seconds. Let's go on to our next draft choice, which will take care of itself. Coach K, his son's listed as a 3. As I look at my board, which you can't see, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players still available with a rating of 2 and 3 more with a 2.5. So, for that reason, he does not have to unfreeze his son. He can go ahead and draft a 2. He's taking player E, rating of 2, can't practice on Mondays, total team. Coach Smedlapper is on the board now. all the ones have been drafted. There are no more ones left. We are now drafting 2s. So for that reason, Coach Smedlapper must unfreeze his child. So we unfreeze their child, and they get Smeddy, who's a 2, for combined 3. Coach Butler was the next to choose based on the hat system, and they take player F. Rated as a 2, combined score of the team is a 3. Coach Jones picks next. They take player G. The rating of 2, combined score is 3. And finally, Coach Smith, angry Coach Smith, gets to now pick. And they take player H. They're relieved, they actually get to pick somebody today. And their combined score with his 2 is a 2.5. We have now completed the second round of drafting, and we'll move on to the third round. Okay, through 2 rounds, you've now seen the scores. How do we decide who goes first in round number 3? Remember, the weakest team always goes first in every round. So let's look across here. 2.5, 3, 3, 3, 3, 2.5. So our weakest teams are the 4 in the middle. We'll put their names into a hat. We'll pull them up. Okay, and this time, different luck. Coach Jones' game came out first, followed by Coach Butler, Smedlapper, Coach K. So you announce, Coach Jones, you're on the clock, 90 seconds. Coach Butler and Smedlapper, please be ready for your picks as well. We still have 2 2s and 3 2.5s left, okay? So they're going to take player I, J, and K. They're rated as a 2, and a 2.5. That gives them a score of 5 total, and 5.5 total. Next is Coach K. Coach K takes player L, who's rated as a 2.5. That gives him a score of 5.5. Now we've got a tie. Coach Knight has a combined score of 2.5. Coach Smith has a combined score of 2.5. Who goes first? So in this case, we say Coach Smith says you haven't got to pick much. You call it in the air. Heads, it's tails. He's mad again. Coach Knight gets to go next again. And this guy can't believe it. We're now 3 rounds in. He's picking dead last every single round. And he's mad the whole time. So, Coach Knight picks, and he takes player M, who's also a 2.5. Player M, 2.5. Add the score for a 5. The reason Coach Smith was so mad was all the 2.5s are gone. We're now into 3s. So Coach Smith takes what he hopes to be the best 3-rated player, player N, rated as a 3, for a combined score of 5.5. You can reassure Coach Smith. Coach Smith, look, these teams have 5, 5, 5.5, 5.5, 5, 5.5. You're right there with them. Don't worry, you still have that half player. You're going to score like crazy. You'll be fine this season. Okay, so now we finished that round. We're on to the 4th round. We won't zoom in this time. We'll just tell you that based on this, the highest teams are these 3. You'll throw their names into a hat again. You'll pull them out in order, and they'll pick again then in that order. And just continue on like that till the very end. When you get to the final round, we do something a little different. Let's say now that everybody's got their players, and we just finished the 7th round, and you're now coming to the 8th and final round. And our draft order is determined in a little different way. Here's how we do it. In all the previous rounds, the team that was the weakest picked first, and the strongest picked last. But one advantage is to have less players. So as a result, in the final round, the strongest team will pick first, and we'll pick strongest to weakest. So they'll pick the players, and Coach Smith will be mad again because he has to have 8 players, and all these guys are only going to end up with 7 players, and they're going to be very, very happy. And these 3 are going to take the final player Z, rated a 5, Y, rated a 5, and finally player X, rated as a 5. And then you can total scores if you want. You don't have to. And then those are your rosters. The trickiest thing in the draft really is when to unfreeze. You would unfreeze a player in the round where those rated players are being picked. So, Coach Knight with his son Ned at 2.5 must take Ned or unfreeze Ned when the 2s, 2.5s are being drafted. Coach K with his son Kyle was rated as a 3. So he has to take him in that round. The reason would be, if he decided not to unfreeze his son and wait till the next round, he could get a 3. Then when everyone's drafting 4s, he would end up taking a 3, which would be a disadvantage. And again, would be a way to stack a team. So this is how the draft works. This is the draft that I'd like you all to use. If you have improvements on this draft, feel free to let me know. But this is the best we've come up with so far. I give Jim Walsh the credit for creating the beginning of this draft, and then I just took his draft and continued that on for every round. The trick is, don't just go snake draft. That's a bad idea. Every single round, draft weakest team to strongest team, and you'll chip away at those strong players. Don't allow assistant coaches, because if this player had 2 1s, look at the difference. Right now he's got a 0.5 and a 2.